I like to close out the year with some small motivations. So today, that's the vibe that we are on. By force, you will be encouraged. But on a serious note, I want to look into 3 pioneers because it is not about luck. It is to do with hard work and commitment. That is what sets people apart. Not that somebody is just better than you. No, they're just more willing to do the work that other people are not willing to do. You know, normally I would just drop like my 30-second, 1-minute video clips from TikTok here. But these ones are actually a bit lengthy, but it will gauge your interest. It's so useful to the journey and the process to never give up. Once it turns to 2026, yeah, I will be 4 years running on this platform crap with YouTube. And at this point, I haven't been monetized. But the reason why I can stay committed to doing these videos, and trust me here, it is no easy feat. It takes so much time, from the planning to the scripting, your titles, your thumbnails, to doing the editing. Hey, God, it's a lot of work. A lot of people probably will have quit by this point because they're not really seeing the results that they wanted and they're just like, okay. But for me, this is actually something I am passionate about. I love to encourage people. I don't care if just 5 people, 10 people. I will carry on in the path that I believe God has destined for me. So that said, these videos that we are going to watch is to encourage you guys into the new year. On top of that, I'm going to share some 4 basic steps that you can use to start rebuilding your life from the ground up. So definitely hang fire for that, okay? Patience. No matter where you are in the world, you know who this person is. The reason why you have iPhone chargers is because of this man, okay? From Steve Jobs himself, okay? It's not some third party that has come to say whatever. No, it's him talking about his own life.
Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
He's not wrong. So even though we have the vision in our minds, as you're dedicating yourself to what you believe is your destiny, a lot of the time it's going to be tough to make sense of how all this stuff is just going to work out. I've had a couple of videos, yeah, where I've had mini meltdowns. So disheartened. Looking forward, I couldn't make sense of it. But now when I look back, it makes sense. I learned so much from going through those downtimes. I've been able to use the learning from back then and apply that. And so even now, you know, the picture is sort of a bit clearer, but it is not the full picture. I'm just getting glimpses. But I'm glad that he said that. Don't try to make sense of what you're doing as you're doing it. It's not going to make sense. It's only going to make sense as you keep on going, and then you look back, you find that the picture has been forming. But anyway, that's enough for me. Let's listen to the rest of his story.
My second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the 2 of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge, and eventually we had a falling out. When we did, our board of directors sided with him. And so at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down, that I had dropped the baton as it was being passed to me. I met with David Packard and Bob Noyce and tried to apologize for screwing up so badly. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did. The turn of events at Apple had not changed that one bit. I'd been rejected, but I was still in love. and so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. Pixar went on to create the world's first computer animated feature film, Toy Story, and is now the most successful animation studio in the world. In a remarkable turn of events, Apple bought Next, and I returned to Apple, and the technology we developed at Next is at the heart of Apple's current renaissance. And Lorene and I have a wonderful family together. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking, don't settle.
Wow. Do what you believe is great work. And the way to do great work is to do the thing that you love. Things were not all rosy and dandy for Steve Jobs. Apple is in a lane of its own. This man did not give up on his vision and his dream. So even though things were tumultuous and he got fired from Apple, listen, there was a lot of things I heard in this that I did not know happened to Steve Jobs. It may have been disheartening for him at the time. It pushed him into his actual destiny eventually. So he became more refined. There's something about failure that relieves a pressure. My expectations of myself were through the roof. But as a result of things not taking off in the way that I expected, it relieved that pressure that I had put on myself, and it just allowed me to be myself. I just thought, do you know what? Clearly what I'm doing is not working. I'm flopping at this very hard. Let me just breathe and just do me. And since I've taken that approach, I found that my video quality has been better. My audience viewership has improved. That pressure I put on myself, it has just become alleviated. I'm not worried about it. I'm like, listen, all I know is I love doing this. It puts you in a very unique position. Most people dread waking up in the morning and having to go to a particular workplace. Trust me, I've had moments in life like that. But now I can't wait to work on my projects. I will switch my phones off, airplane mode, because I want my content to bless people's lives. Whether they hear it today, whether they hear it 20 years from now, this is what I want to do, because at some point, this stuff is going to help somebody. When I let go of the pressure of success, you know what? Just enjoy it. It makes such a massive difference. And so like Steve Jobs has said, it is important to do the thing that you love. I didn't know that Toy Story, Pixar animation, and he created, I had no idea about these things. It just goes to show it's actually difficult to give up on the thing that you love. When you're doing what you love, it is almost impossible to quit. It brings such a sense of fulfillment to your life. Because this man continued to chase his dream, you people have your iPhones today. Even me, what I'm filming, this is iPhone, I think it's iPhone 15. Yeah, because I was like, my Android. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to bash Android because I love my Android. It's my everyday phone. But for my content creation, that is all I use my iPhone for. Thank you, Steve Jobs. If you love what you're doing, no matter how hard it gets, you're going to persevere through it. Failings and the obstacles and the hurdles, you're going to persevere through all of that because you are committed to doing the thing that you love. Okay, let's switch gears very slightly. Still around the same topic. Don't get it twisted. I'm not now coming to talk about something random. But I wanted to share Kobe Bryant's story. God rest his soul, God rest Steve Jobs' soul. His work ethic, what he stands for, his integrity. That guy can work hard. It's not luck, it's commitment. to what you love. One particular summer when he went away to play basketball and he didn't score a point the whole of the summer. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Kobe Bryant going away to a summer camp and doesn't score 1 point? It's almost unbelievable. But the struggle is what gets us there if you embrace it. So anyway.
And here I come playing and I don't score 1 point the entire summer.
Really?
Not one.
How old were you?
11, 10, 11.
And you're playing against other 10, 11-year-olds?
Uh-huh.
Or and you didn't score once?
Not one.
Were you in the game?
I was in the game.
How'd you not score?
Because I was terrible.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember crying about it and being upset about it. And my father just gave me a hug and said, listen, whether you score 0 or score 60, I'm going to love you no matter what.
Wow.
Now, that is the most important thing that you can say to a child. Because from there, I was like, okay, that gives me all the confidence in the world to fail. I have the security there. But to hell with that, I'm scoring 60. Let's go.
Right.
Right. From there, I just went to work. And I stayed with him. I kept practicing.
Listen, imagine Kobe Bryant started out terrible. Is that even like a sentence that even makes sense? When he started out, okay, granted, he was younger, but he knew that this is what he wanted to do. Once he got the cosign from his dad, he was like, you know what? I feel like I've got the confidence to fail. So let me just go hard. Talks about the fact that when he was at university and everyone else was turning up and doing fun times and vibes, he was waking up and going to practice. And I remember even one of his co-players was giving a speech. He would get to practice early. And by the time he gets there, Kobe is already there. And in fact, Kobe has finished his own practice. So they're getting there. They're thinking, yeah, I'm here. Bright early doors, etc. And by the time they get there, not only is Kobe there, but he has actually completed the training that he woke up to do. Like, his work ethic is off the chain. To work that hard at something, it's easier to do that when you are stupidly passionate about what you're doing. It's easier to sacrifice and go through those things. It's still hard. You can be in a job you hate and it's hard. You can do something that you love and it's hard. But which one is worth it? And when it's worth it, it's easier to continue with that persistence and the commitment and persevere through the difficult times, because you're like, do you know what? This is what I was born to do. And so I'm going to stick it out. About his work ethic.
It's a simple thing of math. If you want to be a great player, if you play every single day, 2-3 hours, every single day, over the course of a year, how much better are you getting? Most kids will play maybe, an hour and a half, 2 days a week. It's not going to get it done. Not gonna get it done, right? So if you're obsessively training 2-3 hours every single day over a year, over 2 years, you make quantum leaps, man.
Just doing a summer camp for 2 weeks, you see a difference. I remember playing basketball growing up.
You see it.
You get a lot better and you come back
Yes.
more confident playing on the playground with guys who used to beat you.
Yeah. And I tell the parents on my team, I said, your kids are going to become great basketball players. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's not. There's no.
It's math.
It's it.
Show up every single day.
Show up every single day, do the work.
Show up and do the work. What you put in is what you get out. You do what other people are unwilling to do. You got to do what you got to do. Like, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're trying to start your own thing, yeah, your sleep is going to go left a little bit, because it's like, well, this is the only time that I've got to work on this. Like, when you're passionate, you put in the work. And when you put in the work, you get the results. Okay, moving on to our third and final for today, 2026, energy. We all know who this person is worldwide. And if you don't, you need to slap yourself, because what? Oprah Winfrey herself. Talk show mogul of all time. I don't care. Fight me. How she was able to take off. Like, know for yourself that actually the road ain't easy.
So anyway, I could feel inside myself that reporting was not the right thing for me, even though I was happy to have the job.
Right.
I got an offer to go to Atlanta. I was making $10,000 a year in 1971, but still in college, so I was thinking I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I got an offer to go to Atlanta for $40,000, which I thought, it's over. I'm gonna make $40,000. And my boss at the time said to me, you do not know what you don't know. And you need to stay here until you can learn to write better, until you can perfect your craft as a journalist. And so he said, and we can't give you 40, but we can give you 12. So I stayed, and I could feel inside myself that even though the 40 was alluring at the time, that he was absolutely right. So to make a long story short, because I'd be here all day just talking about how it all came about. I started listening to what felt like the truth for me. A couple of years later, I moved to Baltimore. I could feel that as a reporter, and by this time, 22, I'm making 22,000. I met my best friend Gail there, who said, "Oh my God, can you imagine if you're 30 and you're making 30,000? And then you're 40 and then it's 40,000?" We actually had that conversation in the bathroom. So I started to feel that reporting wasn't for me. But I had my father, I had my friends, everybody was saying, "Oh my God, you're an anchor woman, you're on TV. I mean, you can't give up that job." Right. And by the time I was making 25, my father goes, "Well, you just hit the jackpot. You're not gonna make no more money than that. That's just it." So I was torn between what the world was saying to me and what I felt to be the truth for myself. It felt like an unnatural act for me reporting, although I knew that to a lot of people it was glamorous. And I started to just inside myself think, what do I really want to do, what I really want to do. And I will say this, knowing what you don't want to do is the best possible place to be if you don't know what to do. Because knowing what you don't want to do leads you to figure out what is it you really do want to do.
So you discovered talk then, right? Around that time?
I didn't discover talk, I got demoted. They wanted to fire me, but I was under contract. And they didn't want to give up the 25,000. So they were trying to keep me on to the end of the year. So they put me on this talk, this is the way life works. They put me on a talk show to try to avoid having to pay me the contract out. And the moment I sat on the talk show, interviewing the Carvel ice cream man and his multiple flavors, I knew that I had found home for myself. Because when I was a news reporter, it was so unnatural for me, to cover somebody's tragedies and difficulties, and then to not to feel anything for it. And I would go back after a fire, and I would take them blankets, and then I would get a note from my boss saying, "What the hell are you doing?
Right.
You're just supposed to report."
Can't be that empathetic.
You cannot be that empathetic, and it felt unnatural for me. So if I were to put it in business terms, or to leave you with the message. The truth is, I have from the very beginning listened to my instinct. All of my best decisions in life have come because I was attuned to what really felt like the next right move for me.
Did you know that about Oprah? Because I didn't. Like she said, sometimes if you don't know what you want to do, the best place to start as a guide is figuring out what you don't like to do. She was a reporter first, that's where it started. And as a result of them wanting to fire her, but they didn't want to pay out her contract, so they put her on a talk show. And like she said, she was talking to ice cream man, etc. But she found home because she realized that actually she's an empathetic person. She's somebody that doesn't just want to hear the story. She wants to hear the story and get into the nooks and cranny. We see people all the time. They might be in really glamorous jobs, but they absolutely cannot stand it. To be in a position where you're doing something that resonates with who you are as a person, it's incomparable. And as she mentioned, it's important to listen to your instinct. If you're not feeling a particular job, and I have done a video about that, by the way, I will put the link up here somewhere. We just know when things do not feel right. It's important to also trust your instinct, especially your career, entrepreneurship, like whatever the case, just trust your gut. All three of these accounts confirm that it's nothing to do with luck. The lucky aspect is knowing what it is you want to do. And the rest of it is hard work. Simple as.
It's a bright new day. You're here with your girl, Miss Annie J. I'm gonna give them what they want, cause I came to slay. And nothing's ever gonna take my joy away. I'm about that life.